If you're like most tech-savvy DIYers or small shop techs, the biggest fear when you click Add to Cart is ending up with a recovery machine that looks great on paper but turns out to be a paperweight in the garage. You don't want to waste cash on a unit that will sit idle, or worse, struggle with the very jobs you need it to handle. That uncertainty is real, especially in the world of refrigerant recovery, where every minute counts and every ounce of refrigerant matters. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Robinair 34998 is pitched as the all-in-one solution for our 134A recycling, recovery, and recharging, and the promise of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity sounds like a nice modern touch. But does the connectivity actually translate into smoother workflow for a professional or an enthusiast? Let's walk through what it feels like to set this up on a typical workbench, what the day-to-day operation is like, and where the value truly lies. First-time installation is fairly straightforward. The unit ships in a sturdy cardboard box with the main chassis, a power cord, a set of hoses, and a quick start guide. You plug it in, power it up, and the 10.5-inch capacitive touchscreen lights up. The interface is clean, with large icons for recovery, charging, and recycle. The Wi-Fi connection wizard walks you through linking the machine to your shop's network, and once it's online, the Bluetooth icon appears as well. That dual connectivity means you can either pull up the Robinair app on a phone or tablet, or you can connect a laptop directly via the built-in web server. From a practical standpoint, the real advantage shows up when you're running multiple jobs. Imagine a busy day where you have to service 3 AC units back-to-back. With the app, you can start a recovery on the first unit, then walk over to the second, tap Start Recovery on the tablet, and let the machine handle each cycle without you having to stare at the screen for every step. The app also logs the amount of refrigerant recovered, which is automatically synced to the machine's internal data log. For anyone who needs to keep records for EPA compliance, that automatic data management cuts out the need for a separate spreadsheet. The programmable vacuum function is another feature that matters when you're dealing with moisture or air trapped in the system. The unit defaults to a 15-minute vacuum, which is reasonable for most passenger car AC lines, but you can dial it down to 5 minutes for quick jobs or extend it to 30 minutes for heavy-duty commercial systems. The vacuum pump itself is quiet enough that you can run it next to a workstation without a constant humming distraction, which is a subtle but appreciated comfort for anyone who spends hours in a small shop. One area where the Robinair 34998 really shines is in its wireless printing capability. The machine supports Mopria print service, so you can send a service report straight to a network printer with a single tap. For a tech who needs to hand a printed refrigerant recovery log to a customer or keep a hard copy for an audit, this eliminates the step of manually transcribing numbers or pulling out a laptop. It's a small convenience that adds up over the course of a month's worth of jobs. Now, let's talk about the downside, because no product is perfect. The biggest hidden trade-off is the reliance on software updates. The unit pushes automatic firmware updates over Wi-Fi, which is great for staying current, but it also means the machine can become temporarily unusable if your network is unstable or if the update process stalls. I've seen a couple of users report that after a midnight update, the touchscreen froze for a few minutes before rebooting. If you're operating in a location with spotty internet, you might want to schedule updates during off hours to avoid interruption. Another practical weakness is the hose diameter. The included 3-meter hose is standard for our 134A work, but if you ever need to pull refrigerant from a larger commercial system with longer line runs, you'll find the flow rate limited. Upgrading to a larger diameter hose is an extra cost that isn't mentioned in the box contents, so be prepared to purchase that separately if you anticipate longer runs. Battery life isn't a concern here because the unit plugs into AC power, but it does draw a noticeable amount of electricity when the vacuum pump is engaged continuously. In a shop where you're running multiple machines at once, that can add up on the utility bill. It's not a deal breaker, yet it's something to keep in mind when you're budgeting for overall shop expenses. Who should buy this machine? If you are a professional HVAC technician who services residential and light commercial AC systems, the Robinair 34998 offers a solid blend of connectivity, data logging, and hands-free operation that can shave minutes off each job. The automatic updates keep the unit compliant with the latest EPA regulations without you having to chase firmware releases. For hobbyists who only dabble in occasional AC service, the touchscreen and app integration are appealing, but the